Good day, my name is Angelo. This is Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. How have we been? As for we over here, we're doing perfectly alright. I want to go straight to the matter at hand because these are serious times. Okay, you've heard updates about the 7-man panel that are going to sit over the tribunal, or the petition, I beg your pardon, at the Supreme Court to hear the case of Labour Party's Peter Obi and People's Democratic Party's Atiku Abubakar against the APC's candidate, that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima. Alright, the case continues. We hope that things work out as planned. But straight to the matter at hand, I have an expose file that is exposing Aisha Buhari, the wife of former President Muhammadu Buhari, and her children, including others who actually owe the federal government over 30 billion naira in ground rent in the Federal Capital Territory. You know, I noticed because of the recent occurrences, I decided to delve into affairs. Why is Wike the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory? For Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, to adamantly make Wike against the wish of people from the northern side of the country, for him to make Wike the new minister for the Federal Capital Territory, that means he really needs a no-nonsense person in the FCT because of maybe the records that are on ground. And that is obviously the reason why he made Wike the minister of the FCT. You will know how Aisha Muhammadu Buhari and her children owe the federal government over 30 billion naira in ground rent without paying for the past 8 years, and now we're getting to closely to 9 years and still counting. Evidence of list of defaulters. As always, of course, I told you I will always avail you evidence if there are evidences, okay? There is a list of defaulters from the FCT's, one of the ministries in one of the parastatals in the FCT. You want to know which parastatal is that? Alright. Well, AMCON, I told you that I brought you updates earlier on that AMCON means the Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria, and they actually had issues with Ifeanyi Ubah, I told you, and that particular issue has been forgiven. Debts worth 130 billion naira. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari now has come up with her own case file. So please, let us together analyze this, alright? Now, remember that Aisha Muhammadu Buhari is no longer the First Lady of Nigeria, so she can now be probed by any ministry that has, indictment issues or has any sort of financial issues with her. Former First Lady Aisha Muhammadu Buhari and her children have allegedly not paid ground rents for all the properties they own in Abuja. A list of evidence of defaulters released shows that Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, her children, and 40 others are currently owing the Federal Capital Territory over 40 billion in ground rent. The Minister for the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Ezemo Wike, has threatened to revoke their lands and properties if they fail to pay up. The former First Lady and her children are major beneficiaries of properties seized by the Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria. They allegedly got most properties they own now for free. That means anything that the AMCON seizes automatically at will becomes the property of Aisha Muhammadu Buhari and any of her 3 children mentioned here. These 3 children involved in this particular case are Halima Sharif Muhammadu Buhari, Zara Muhammadu Buhari, and the son of the former president, Yusuf Muhammadu Buhari. These are the three children, together with Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, who actually are on the list of defaulters owing the federal government over 30 billion naira in ground rent. On your screens, as you can see, is the evidence. This is the list of defaulters from the Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria. They have finally published the names, and as you can see, you could see the first person there, Halima Sharif Muhammadu Buhari. She has appeared, and she owes. That means she needs to pay with immediate effect, according to Wike. Second is Zara Muhammadu Buhari. She owes too. And then you have Yusuf Muhammadu Buhari. Then you have Aisha Muhammadu Buhari herself, owing lots of billions of naira. I feel that somehow these monies will be swept under the carpet. And I also feel that if these amounts of monies are recovered, Nigeria can actually go a long way. Imagine putting together the 130 billion naira that is being owed by Ifeanyi Ubah. If you add up that particular amount to the over 30 billion that is being owed by Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, I think you have close to 170 billion naira, which can actually serve a particular parastatal or a ministry whose budget is in that line. Okay, we shouldn't write everything off, because this is Nigeria. If we are trying to be transparent, we should be totally transparent and completely very, very effective. Okay, let's not mix the word transparency and effectiveness, because being transparent automatically means effectiveness. Okay, if you're transparent, that means you're trying to show the people how straightforward you are in your duty. By implication, you're trying to be very effective in your office. Capability and competence should be our watchword. But from the look of things, the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Wike, wants to really use this opportunity to wax his muscles over Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. Maybe because in the formal government, he was never in good terms with her husband. And this is the more reason why he wants to use this opportunity, to intimidate herself and her three children. So we will see where this will end over time. Secondly, Frank Tiete, Arise News analyst and lawyer, is of the opinion that Justice Monica Dongban-Mensem, the president of the Court of Appeal, has her reasons for moving all tribunals from their own state to the appeal court divisions in Abuja and Lagos states respectively. Remember, Justice Mensem told or gave an order, I would say, to all courts of appeal in the states handling tribunals, that all tribunals should be quickly moved to the Lagos and Abuja divisions of the Court of Appeal. Well, Frank Tiete thinks Justice Monica has positive reasons why she did that. Please pay attention and listen to Frank Tiete as he explains what he feels might be the reasons of Monica Dongban-Mensem's quick order to the Court of Appeal.
The decision of the President of the Court of Appeal to move the various appeal tribunals to Lagos and Abuja is a very strategic one. I'm happy that Toby recalled that those appeals will actually be held by way of briefs that will be submitted. You may have the opportunity to address the court for a certain limited amount of time, say about 20 minutes, and then judgments can actually be given via on a virtual basis. So there's limited contact, and again, it's easier to actually supervise judges, if at all the President of the Court of Appeal wants to do that, when it is limited to only two venues. We're talking about Lagos and Abuja. Much of the corruption that happens in the judiciary appear to be practically impossible to prove. We're talking about hard currency in dollars, you know, being given at night surreptitiously, or being passed through conduits of certain personalities. So we're talking about briefs that are submitted and then addressed upon, and then thereafter the judge goes to file his own judgment, probably before it is even read via Zoom or WebEx or any of those virtual networks. So it's going to be very helpful. I must tell you, we've been clamoring for the application of technology for justice delivery, and this is one that will be very helpful in achieving that. Much of what I disagree about what Toby is saying is this: we run what we call a common law system, stare decisis as a principle of law, with which we practice as a country, in the sense that stay by the decision already made by a higher court or by court that has based decision on principle. We cannot have this clear uncertainty with regards to decisions. One court giving a decision on the same facts with regards to a certain law. It's it's untenable. Now, in that clear case, I agree with Toby that what you do is to send the petition to the NJC, because challenging the competence of the justices, that panel that reached that decision, whether they are abreast with the law, unless there is a gag order, unless there is an express order of court barring any citizen or any party.
Right, Frank Tete there, he's always very detailed when he explains, and his view on this one seems to be very, very optimistic, because if you hear what he's saying, he's of the opinion that Justice Monica Dongba-Mensem is really after the credibility of these courts. Maybe she wants to supervise these justices on the recent occurrences happening in various tribunals that have already given judgment. We've seen lots of discrepancies from different judges, okay? Maybe she's trying to prevent a quick upturn of the constitution by different judges that must have collected lots of money in order to sway or subvert the cause of justice. Let's hope that is her reason. Finally, on the issue of the commemoration of the 20th October 2020 NSAS protest, one of the most famous protesters, one Mrs. Dabiro Lua Adeyinka, she has come on air to recount the positive impacts that has been brought about in the Nigerian police force via the NSAS protest, okay? Marking the anniversary of the NSAS, she still believes somehow that the federal government could, do more as regards reforms in the Nigerian police force. Please, let us hear this ex-protester, very, very famous, and ex-activist, Dabiro Lua Adeyinka.
Okay, sincerely, we heard that there's no longer NSAS, but recently, I think early this year, I've encountered policemen along Maito Alaba Expressway, not in uniform. I was on a Uber ride, and they stopped us like violently. So I don't know if I should agree that it is totally crashed. It's disbanded. It's been disbanded. That's
when you say they stopped you violently. What does that mean?
Jumped in front of my vehicle and then asked the guy that was next to me, that was my assistant, asked him to come down, and decided searching him. It also happened recently somewhere in Chicken Republic, somewhere around Ogba. They stopped us too, and they were searching the guy very uncontrollably. And I'm asking, are we saying that? And then the second one, like the question you asked, we also asked for police reform.
Yes.
That was the main goal for us. If the police force can be reformed and their barracks are well put in place and they feel accepted, by the government, probably they will treat us better.
Better welfare for the police.
Yes, better welfare for the police.
Let me ask you a question. When you were stopped, Did they identify, how did you know because you said they were plain clothes, how did you identify them as policemen, and what happened? What was the reason for their search? Did you look suspicious? What was the justification for them calling out the man? Because these things are important.
Yes.
Why did they call you out? Was there anything, did you pose a threat to them at that time of the night? And then how did you identify them as police? Because they could be criminals. They could have been
it wasn't
criminals.
even at night, it was broad daylight. And some of them were wearing jackets, the dark jackets. Some of them were wearing, identification tags on them. And I think about 2 of them were wearing police uniform. And I'm like, this is a young man, he has his ID card. He's a youth coordinator, so he had to bring out his ID card. They searched his pocket, and the Uber guy was like, this is an Uber ride. And then I said, do you want me to identify myself before you let us? They didn't come close to me. It was just a guy that was sitting by my side. That was the issue for them. Then the other one, too, the same guy was with me when it happened somewhere around Ogba. That was also in the morning, early hours of the morning.
Finally, before I hand over to Kay, you know, they often talk about stereotyping. Did he have dreads on? Did he have laptop on him? Because why was he profiled?
He didn't have.
On 2 occasions, you thought, did he look threatening?
No.
I'm just a bit
He didn't have dreads
surprised.
on. He's just a normal, regular guy. He was representing a political youth leadership. He didn't have anything on him.
All right, the Biro Lua Adeinka there. She was very, very objective in her statements and her suggestions. I feel these are one of the well-meaning Nigerians that should actually gain public recognition. Not the Nigerian police, not the Nigerian army, not those politicians that actually give lots of orders for, lots of heinous activities to be taking place at the Lekki toll gate sometime 3 years ago. So her own suggestions are very objective, and I understand with her. Please let us pay all our own allegiance and loyalty to our country by all means. Alright, so we'll see how far it will take us, especially with this illegitimate government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Thank you so much for staying with us. Before I call it quits, I would love to urge you, please like our videos, share them. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you're watching me for the first time, please tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, so that when I drop an update, you'll be privileged to be among the first people to know. Wouldn't you like that? See you next time. Bye.